Lieutenant Columbo's glass eye. Smooch. Okay, no, I can't see anybody actually on the screen there in terms of numbers. So I don't know what's happened, but I'm pretty sure that I'm live anyway. Oh, come on. There's got to be someone in the chat. No response here. What's happening? Oh, there's 8 people. I can see 8 people in the chat there. Okay, there's 8 people. Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen. It's Tuesday night. Okay, so just quickly read through the comments. Your thought. I have the kebab ready and beer for another work. Okay, good for you, mate. John Mitch. Come on, Eddie, get online. What it is, I've been struggling to get some little videos, little musical videos and various other things. This StreamYards, I'm not the only one who has problems with it. You know, it is a little bit, it's well known it's a bit problematic and it's a bit rusty and whatever. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi connection, which is not really brilliant. But anyway, I'm really glad you guys have shown patience. Mark Hollig, thanks for hitting the like button. Beautiful day here in Minneapolis. Okay, that's wonderful. Nice to hear that. We've had a bit of rain here. I mean, it's the middle of May here in the UK, and I live in southern UK where it's supposed to be sunnier. But it's pretty crap. The weather's pretty crap, to be honest with you. Let's see. Stephen Gamble, nice to hear from you. Schmoots, you're late. Can we get a refund? Yeah, sure, it's on the way. Gaz77. Hi, Eddie. I'm okay. Yeah, all right. More information than we needed. Darren just woke up in Phuket. Good for you, mate. So that will be about 5 o'clock in the morning in Phuket. Well, that's very, very nice. Good for you, mate. Good for you. And thanks for everybody coming to this channel. This hopefully will be my main live channel. The other channel will be for videos. That's the way I'm working it. There's still going to be a live stream once a week there, but it depends how this one goes. I want this to be my main channel because it pays to keep the two things separate. It really, really does. So hopefully this is going to be my main live channel. I'm very, very close to the 4,000 hours of watch time, which I need to be, to qualify for advertising on this. Be nice to have a few little ads, get this channel monetized. So very close to it. Delayed Dave, good evening, Eddie. Hope you're well. Okay, fine. Nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Jamie296, hello. Dan Trivalaki, hi, Eddie. Hope all's good with you. Okay, yeah, you too, mate. Anyway, Dutch Farang, Gary Hughes, evening, young man. Saw the Scoot vlog earlier. Very good. Okay, thanks for that. Yeah. Somebody said about that Scoot vlog. I wouldn't have got that aeroplane if it was only 25 quid. Well, each to their own, mate. Each to their own. Dutch Farang, yeah. Hello, Mr. Sweeney. Okay. Big Cyril, big up Eddie and the Monga Massive. Dutch Farang waking up in Phuket. Yes. Is that 2 people waking up in Phuket, or is that the same person? Gaz77. I'm not going to read out those. No, I'm not going to read out those vulgar comments. You're welcome to be here as long as you don't get too, annoying. So what's happening with everyone? Like I just explained a moment ago, this is all experimental stuff on this channel. But I'm pleased that it's moving ahead. I mean, Sunday was really, really good because that was, unplanned, but it seemed to go down well with people. Now, the idea is to get, I'll just reiterate what I said before. The other channel, which is my real name, is, it's mainly a travel channel. It's for people interested in channel. This, we'll also get to talk about channel on this, but there will be other subjects. What it is with the fun and games stuff, the overrated section, the Roger and Dodger. Some people like it and some people hate it. Now, on the other live streams that I've been doing over the last couple of years, we'll talk about travel and then waffle on about, a bit of fun and games. And some people tune out on the fun and games stuff. They want to talk about travel. Well, this channel, the live streams here will be for the fun and games section. It's just that I haven't actually developed any fun and games just yet. Just working on it. Neil Fleet, nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. Hope all's well in Wavertree. Darren, really busy out here, full of girls, and the mask thing doesn't really exist. That's good. That's good. I mean, I never made it to Phuket personally because I planned to, but I run out of energy. I mean, I'd seen so many islands and so many different places during my travels, and I thought to myself, I just didn't have any energy left for Phuket. I didn't have the energy left for it, really. I mean, how many islands can you say? I've been to Koh Chang, Koh Tao, Koh Phangan, Koh Samui, another island, another beach, another island. No, it was an island too much. But I'm glad you're having a good time there. Jamie 26, okay. Jamie 296. I was about to go to bed. What a nice surprise to see this live. Time for a quick vodka. Well, good for you, mate. I'm having a quickie as well. A Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon. Yes, this is a cheapo bottle of wine from the co-op. And we keep hearing stuff on the news about the cost of things, the cost of food and everything going up. The stuff that I buy hasn't significantly gone up. The wine and the Kronenberg and all the other stuff is still very, very, very much as it was before. A few things look like they're a little bit expensive, but they tend to be things I wouldn't really buy anyway. And what I tend to find with my shopping, I'm going to my local co-op. Let me tell you, I haven't got a car at the moment, right? Well, I mean, there is one on the driveway, but I'm not using it because I'm not using it right now because the gearbox will it probably wouldn't get it through its MOT. The gearbox is it's going to take a colossal amount of money to get the car up and running, and I'm not really sure it's worth it because I'm only planning on being in this country for about no more than half the year. So I don't want to be spending loads of money on the car when it's even at its best, it's going to be sitting up parked up for half the year anyway. So I just haven't bothered doing it. So I can walk to my local co-op and get what I need. The thing about going to Lidl's and Asda, you're doing a really, really, really big shop. Those places are better value, but I tend to buy far, far more than what I really, really, really need. You know what I mean? So my shopping, I think I'll probably go to Lidl's maybe once a month, and that's about it, really. Okay, Darren. Only thing I would say is the beaches are filthy. Litter everywhere. You're talking about Phuket? That's terrible. That's bloody awful. That shouldn't be allowed. John Mitch, where's the black t-shirt, Eddie? Well, I've got lots of black t-shirts. I mean, seeing as it's night time, I thought I'd just wear me pajamas. Why the hell not? Damon, even Mr. Ed, tips off videos there and Scoop Video. We go, okay, thanks for that, mate. Thanks for that. That was the I was thinking of making a separate little video on Scoop, but then I thought it incorporated with the last few moments, lazy week in Battaya. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Seems to have gone down well anyway. But that's the last video from actual video, a vlog from my travels. I'll still be doing other things. One of the things that I will be doing, people keep asking me about it, is the overall cost. How much would a 4-month adventure like that cost? How much did I spend? Okay, so I will do that one. That one's coming up, sometime later this week. Shane O'Traveller, greetings, lads, from Oz. Okay, that's fine. Nice to hear from you, mate. Nice to hear from you. What's this? Paul Hoskin, hot air balloons are going up, yeah? Okay. An enigmatic comment of the night. Mark Ollick, the US has a baby formula shortage. Fortunately, I have none. Oh well, good for you, mate. Good for you, mate. Anyway, nice to hear from you, Mark. Who's this? Oh, we've got quite a few people in there. Kippo Macmac, Eddie, what drink will you be drowning your sorrows with after City win the title again on Sunday? The City, they're not guaranteed, but Yeah, don't forget. I won't worry about it. Liverpool's still, in the Champions League, and they just won the FA Cup, so they're doing okay. They're doing okay. Okay, Damon. Okay, Dutch McLaren F1 race. Eddie. Yeah. Okay. Nice to hear from you. Shane, Thailand bound. Oh my word! How can I go to sleep now? Break out the oldie beer. It's nice to hear from you, Peter. Peter, we done another marathon stream the other night, Thailand bound on a Friday night, and I did say to Peter before, Peter, I can't do another 4 hour like we did last time. We did do another 4 hour, and I was extremely drunk on the brandy the next day. Nice to hear from you anyway, Peter. El Terrifico, how about taking us on a shopping trip, Eddie? How dull is that? How dull is that? I suppose it could be going around Asda. Asda. Maybe do a live stream from Asda. All exciting things like half price lasagnas and all that sort of. Lidl's would be good. I'll tell you what, I do miss from Lidl's. I do miss that Perlenbacher, which is it's a cheap lager, but it's actually very, very nice. It gives the others a run for the money. And another thing I do miss from Lidl's, I've got to get there, is that brandy, Reverie, the cognac version. That is a bloody good brandy. Really, really nice, that one. Really, really nice. John Mitch, 6-pack of Tesco apple pies gone up by 4p this week. That's bloody awful. Apple pie puts the weight on it anyway. Shane O'Traveller, Peter is the man. Okay, in celebration of Thailand bound. I'm glad Peter can make it. El Terrifico, Eddie, in your Scoot video, it looked like you were seated in a flight attendant's gallery. I'll tell you what, on that Scoot flight, and I did make a point of it, bloody annoyed me that, some bastard in the front just decided to just put his chair back, without even asking the person. I don't do that. I honestly don't do that. I show a little bit of respect for the person behind me. So I moved to another seat because there were other seats available. And funny enough, I moved to one by the toilet. Every time I tried to get asleep, I heard bloody flushing the oh, Jesus Christ. But it got me home anyway. It got me home. Nice to hear from you, mate, anyway. Sean the Prawn. Good evening, Eddie. Have you declared your car off the road to avoid the motor tax? Have you noticed the inflation in the co-op? It's crazy here. The first question, have I declared my car off the road? No, I paid for the year's road tax. And I haven't declared it off the road. I don't know. I could get it up and running again, but I can't be bothered really. I mean, the cost of diesel, it's just massive bills. If I was using the car full time, then it would be worth having it. But I just don't think it's worth having it really. I'll walk places, or I'll get a taxi, or I'll get a bus, or to be honest, in the last couple of weeks, I've hardly been out the house. I mean, I've been so lethargic, really, the last couple of weeks. I've been catching up on Netflix and a couple of other things. I've been watching lots of YouTube videos from other countries, So I haven't really been out much. I haven't really bothered. Let's see. Paul Hoskin, I bought loads of toilet rolls in the Antivirus. I've got enough for 5 years. Okay, good for you, mate. Better to have than do without. Big Cyril, Eddie, does each line on your shirt represent every time you completed a dirty dozen? Very, very, very nice thought, mate. Nice thought. Mark Holling, it's 5 p.m. there. So you're 6 hours behind us. 5 p.m. I need to find something to eat. Do you have any extra pork pies there? No, Mark, I haven't any. I like pork pies, but the thing is, it's still quite cold here. Pork pies are best when in a really hot climate, really. I mean, if it was a nice warm summer's evening, you want something like pork pies. But it still feels like, it was raining today. The weather's fairly grim here, and it's not warm of a nighttime. It's also, I mean, Cornish pasties would be better right here. But I'll tell you what I have got. I've actually got barbecued chicken in the oven at this very moment. So that's coming up later. Let's see. Jamie 296. Well, you see Eddie on Peter on Thailand Bound, you know to strap in and get the beers out. Strap in. It's a bit dodgy, that, isn't it? Stephen Forex, keep telling us inflation at 7%. Total bollocks. Everything is up 20% in the shops. At a first glance, when I've done my first shop, I mean, and the only thing I've spent money on since I come back is in supermarkets. That's the only thing, really. I was supposed to go out for a weekend bash, but I wasn't feeling very, very well. And I don't know. You get to the stage when I can't do an 8 or 10 hour session on the beer anymore. I just can't do that. You know, so the only place I've been really in the last couple of weeks is really the supermarkets. And I think I noticed a little bit of food rises, you know, when I first went out. But my local co-op, I mean, it doesn't look, it's not 20% change. I mean, I don't think it is really. Not in my local co-op, it isn't. Schmoots, I saw the Scoop videos today as well. The airport seemed reminded of how depressing it feels to leave the country after a great holiday. Yeah, it can be. It can be. But, you know, if you've been traveling for about 4 months, as I did, I traveled for 4 months. You often get people say, oh, my God, it must be terrible to come home. What do you think I've been doing for 4 months? I've been eating, drinking, massaging, you know, and, you know, rumpy pumpy and all the rest of it. I've had me film my over-the-top indulgence. And after 4 months, you know, you feel like you've done all the stuff that you need to do and seen all the islands. I've walked on all the beaches I've had that I need to walk on. I've had all the 4 months. It's like having a long night out. It's great, but it's great, but you know, after a while, you know, you've had your fun. You just want to go home. So I was just glad to get home, to be honest with you. Paul Hoskin, after a 2-week millionaire holiday, I need a month to recover. Well, at the rate that you go, mate, having about half a dozen massages a day, I don't blame you. John Mitch, get a bicycle, Eddie. A bicycle. I was thinking about that. You know, maybe a little bit of. I don't. It's not really the weather for it right now. I mean, I've been back 2 weeks, and the weather's been crap here. I keep hearing reports saying that a heat wave has come out. I haven't seen it. I look out the window of a daytime and it's rain. You know, I wake up, I do what I've got to do on the internet. I have a breakfast come dinner, and you know, after that, I just feel like going back to bed, to be honest with you. McLaren F1 race, Little Ed's been getting a spanking the last few weeks on OnlyFans. I don't watch OnlyFans. I don't know. I don't watch OnlyFans. What was the bloody point of that? I mean, you get porn up for free, can't you? You know, porn up. You know, MILFs. You know, MILFs party. You know, I love all that. Shane O'Traveller, ATM here. Great time for a morning stream. So, are you in Australia then, Shane? You know, it's good all these you know, to appeal to all these different times. 50 people in the chat. Nice to have you all here. Jamie296, Eddie, used cars in the UK have almost doubled in price. If you ever want to get rid of an unwanted car, now's the time. I doubt this used car doubling will ever happen again. Really, really. I'm not working now. I'm in a process of I may be retired or may not. I don't. I'm in no rush to get back to work or do anything really. Right now, I'm just relaxing. I could get my car up and running again. But then if I get it up and run, I mean, what do I do with my car? What I tend to do with it? I tend to go on long drives around the same old. I'm not too keen. I'm not really too keen. I mean, the thing is, where I live, there is loads of road works going on at the moment, and driving, especially in the daytime, can be really, really, really stressful. Being stuck in queues and temporary traffic, it stresses me out. That I just can't be bothered with it. My car's on the driveway now, and whether to get it up and running or I don't know. But like I said before, I'm not going to be in this country for any more than half the year. So it's not. I don't think there's any point me. I don't really need a car that badly, to be honest with you. Let's see. Shane, traveling Western life. I want it in my future. Mix up the holiday life. Absolutely, yeah. Bulldog. Eddie, I never want to go home. Well, I have to. I did explain this, but after all that alcohol and food and all that stuff abroad in Thailand, I just wanted to sit in my living room, just watching Netflix. To be honest with you. Kippo Makmak, Daily Express headlines every other day is about a heat wave coming. A heat wave is coming. Yeah, I keep hearing that. I've heard on the news many a time that it's going to be a heat wave by this week. It's going to. I live in an area which is supposed to be the sunniest area in the whole of the bloody country, and I haven't seen any heat wave. I mean, it's cold. It's bloody. I still have the heat on now and again. Shane Old Traveller, Bulldog, how is Sydney? Mark Ollick, MILFs. Oh, I like MILFs. Some of them are lovely. Some of them MILFs are lovely. Lovely women. Jesus, they must have. I see one of them, three MILFs and a waiter. Three MILFs and a waiter. Where three MILFs, get it on with the bloody good stuff. Bloody good stuff. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this one, but me and my best friend, who was also from Liverpool, like me, we were laughing so much because we know all about Liverpool women. We're both from there, and and whatever you think of them. But I watched what this adult thing with three MILFs and a waiter, and they were all blonde, and one of these blonde MILFs. It was American made. This one of these blonde MILFs was a Scouser. She was from Liverpool. It was just from Liverpool. Now Liverpool women are, oh my God Almighty! It's sometimes they're lovable, sometimes they're an absolute nightmare. But you can tell they were. The other two blondes kind of had a script and they stuck to the script. This one didn't. Even when they were getting engaged in the rumpy pumpy, you could tell that she was making her own words up as it went along. Yeah, come on, give it to me, you dirty bastard, yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, yes. You dirty shit. Oh my God. I mean, that is a Liverpool woman. They do things differently in Liverpool. Oh my God Almighty. Let me see. Dutch Farang, that's enough of the porno talk, by the way. Dutch Farang, can you drive to Thailand? I suppose technically you could drive from the UK to Thailand. You'd probably start off with the Channel Tunnel, wouldn't you? And then you go to Europe and you pass through, eastern places like you could go through Turkey and then you could go through. All kinds of obscure countries, and that you wouldn't normally go to. Things, a place like Kazakhstan and Bangladesh and stuff like that. And I suppose you could technically, but it's a lot of borders. It's a lot of, it's probably a lot of red tape, and it's probably a lot of hassle. I don't know. I think I'd prefer Scoot Airways, to be honest with you. Smooch, Jamie296. Jamie has a good point. Put the money towards a car service like Uber or Lyft, public transportation, etc., and a bike. Yeah, maybe a good. I like driving. I have a Ford Mondeo, and when it's running well, it's bloody good. I mean, I live in Devon, and when the going's good, it's lovely on a sunny day to drive through the lovely lush Devon countryside, and there's so many beautiful places to drive through. When you're on the road, it's great driving at some time, but when you're stuck in traffic, when you're trying to there's nothing fun about a traffic jam. There's nothing at all fun about diversions or temporary traffic lights. And where it's just full of them. It's I can do without it. I really, really don't want it. So I can't. I don't know. I can't be bothered with me. I don't need it. I don't really need it. I'm not going to spend lots of money for something that I'm not going to be using for at least half the year, and I don't really need it anyway. Stephen Forex, look at it this way. That used car could be a few flights to Southeast Asia, you sell. Yeah, but it's not worth it's high miles, it's not worth that much. Let's see. Gilfs, that's pushing it. What is that? Oh yeah. I've never heard that word, funnily enough. Never heard that word, yeah. Okay, Mark Allen, Eddie, you could read porn. We just need the 70s organ music. Oh, I could I could actually the perfect porn song is one. I mean, it wouldn't pass the cover. But the most erotic song ever is G10 on Plus. Says Gainborg and what's her name? Jane Bear. Oh my, one of the greatest songs of 1969. Magnificent. Yeah, that could be that. But I don't know. I think YouTube wouldn't approve of that. Stephen Forex, Ed, the female mayor of Liverpool recently tried to block Hooters opening. It's immoral. Clearly, she ain't been to town on a weekend night. Girls wearing a lot less than the Hooters. I don't know. I haven't lived in Liverpool for donkey's years. Johnny B, what is the best moment of your trip? Oh. Well, it's well, it's hard to beat his Thai sandwich, isn't it? It's hard to beat that. Oh, what wonderful! I meet some of the lovely ladies, and I did meet lovely ladies. I didn't put them on camera, out of respect, because it's there was another vlogger who thought it was clever to bring girls back to his hotel room and push the camera at them when they didn't want the camera pushed at them. And sometimes they were in a state of half undress, and he's lost his channel now. He hasn't got a YouTube channel anymore, so serves him right. We won't mention his name. But met some lovely ladies. Also met some really good people there. It was nice meeting Nick Dean and the boys from the Hacienda and A7. And he's got a couple of other bars. Nick's really, really good, very, very hospitable. I really enjoyed meeting Nick. And of course, the islands, to go to those, even though after a while all islands tend to, I met some good people. Even the Swedish hotel I stayed in Koh Chang, was terrific. And Bangkok was an unexpected highlight. That was a lot more fun than what I expected it to be. Meeting sort of people like Chad from CB Media. I met Chad and Jim Andrews and I met them, a lot of highlights, Johnny. A lot of highlights. Nice to hear from you anyway. Alpha Interactions, Eddie, I want to get teleported to Thailand, not right. That'll be good. When you think about it, I know some people, I think the flight, and I get depressed when the flight is too long. But believe it or not, there are people who I know who prefer an indirect flight rather than a direct flight. If you're doing a long 12-hour journey to Thailand, there's some people say, "Oh, I don't like that. I like it broken up. I like to, be in, stop off at Dubai, like airport for maybe 4 hours or." I don't want any of that. I mean, I want to. I know 12 hours is a long time, but I just want to get the ordeal over and done with, really. So, if a direct flight, I thought that was a good flight on the way back. Kiki on the Trail. Always enjoyed Eurotrash on Bravo back in the 90s. I used to like Eurotrash as well. I mean, it was like, late night Friday. It was kind of trash entertainment. They used to have loads of, women with big knockers and hairy lady bits and all that. It was good though. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Yeah, did you have to pay extra to use the toilet on Scusa? No. Paul Hoskin, have you ever flown Scat Airlines from Kazakhstan? No, never heard of it. Stephen Forex, Guilt, Wayne Rooney style. Wayne Rooney style. Oh, don't you mean Wags? Oh, God almighty. What's happening with the media? I mean, now you got the silliest story where two Wags, wives of soccer stars, they're bitching at each other and taking each other to court. She said this about me, and what a load of claptrap. What's the matter with celebrities? What's the matter with celebrities these days? Would you want to be a celebrity? I mean, what the hell's happening? I mean, Will Smith gets on stage and slaps Chris Rock. Chris Rock shouldn't have said that about Will Smith's wife. You know, it's not very nice anyway. I mean, personally, whatever you think of that, I mean, Chris Rock, I mean, I've heard that he's pretty good. I don't watch it. Will Smith, I think, is really quite an overrated actor. I don't think he's anything special. I don't really think he deserves the star status. I don't rate Arden particularly highly. But I must admit, with that, I wouldn't condone what Will Smith done. But what Chris Rock did, what he did, you know, you don't insult another man's wife. And, you know, even, let's be honest about it. Let's be honest about this. Let's be absolutely honest. I think we've all come across a gobby, loudmouth bastard. You know, someone who's wisecracking and, you know, shouting the odds and wisecracking at other people's expense and all that. And I think we've all felt, you know, sat there and listened to some, you know, bloody cruel comedian wisecracking at other people's expense. And you sat there, you know, thinking to yourself, do you know what? This person says one more word out of place, and I'm going to get up and smack this bastard. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think we've all thought that. We've said, no, he really likes a gobby person who's you know, cruel, who's taking the mickey out of other people's misfortune. So, I mean, I wouldn't condone what Will Smith done, but, you know, in a way I can understand it. But celebrities have gone crazy, haven't they? I mean, look at Johnny Depp and Amber. I'd never even heard of her before, but Johnny Depp, and you know, rather overrated actor anyway. They're all bloody crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Crazy stuff. Anyway, I'm fed up with all that Johnny Depp stuff in the news. I don't want to hear any more of it. Let's see. Kippo Macmac, flying from Bangkok to Phuket or Knockhead is thunder and lightning took years off me. Okay. Mark Alec, be sure to press the thumbs up like thingy. Okay, thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate that. Thumbs up, everyone, please. I'm trying to build this channel, push it out there, and it's going, it's getting there. It's getting there. Shane Old Traveller, Ed, what's your thoughts on Siam Reap? I loved it. I love Siam Reap. Siam Reap is I'd say what, if there's one word that that, you know, is ideal for Siam Reap, it is the word pleasant. That's the word. That's the appropriate word for Siam Reap. Siam Reap is a very, very pleasant place. Now, I did a great report about it. And when I first seen it, I thought, you know, it didn't really seem like an authentic Cambodian town, but it really grows on you. And I visited that place lots and lots of times. It's a really pleasant, very friendly, very, very likable place. And it's close to Angkor Wat. I mean, I've been to Angkor Wat 3 times. But the actual town of Siam Reap is a very, very nice place. Very nice place. I mean, it used to be great for the women. I think it's a bit less so now. But it used to have some really great girly bars. I remember when I first arrived in Siam Reap, I travelled from Phnom Penh on a bus. I arrived in Siam Reap around about. I travelled to Siam Reap and arrived there early evening, and it was such a likable place. I found a nice little hotel. The hotel manager showed me the room. I think it would cost $20 a night for a really, really nice room in central Siam Reap, and it was so laid back. The hotel manager said to me, he said, "Oh, by the way, if you want to bring a girl back, it's not a problem. In fact, you can bring one back for me if you want." You know, I mean, that's how laid back that place was. I think it changed over the years, but it's a wonderful place. Love it, absolutely love it. Let me see now. So yeah, Johnny B. How's the diet going? You know, it's early stages. Paul Hoskin, it's best to get a massage early to avoid all the squelching sounds. Make me pleased with that one. Pele, hi Eddie, have you ever been to Alanya in Turkey? If yes, do you recommend it for 1 week holiday? I've been to Alanya. I mean, I know Turkey really well. I had a place in Fethiye for many, many years. I also know Antalya quite well, which is a bit scruffy, but it's worth a visit. Alanya is quite a pleasant place. It's quite a pleasant place. And if you go there for a week, yeah, you'll like it. You'll like it. Shane Hotel, 8 flights from Melbourne, 5 hours across Oz. 8 flights from Melbourne, 5 hours across Oz. Okay, fine. Harvey Wisdom, you can't beat the old Bamboo Bar for a nice MILF. Bamboo Bar in Pattaya, yes. Yeah, I never actually, I've been in that place. I know where it is, but it's, I never really indulged in that place, so to speak. But I've heard that it's good. I think that's gone out of action now. Last time I looked. There's a good point. Jamie296. Eddie, all the people that like an indirect flight are smokers. Yeah, well, that kind of makes sense. That's yeah. So they didn't get off another smoke. Okay, yeah, makes sense. Touch Farang, can you bring a Jorian back home from? I wouldn't have thought so. A lot of hotels ban them. Apparently, it stinks, that stuff. What's this? Okay. Tampa 35. Nomad overseas. Nomad overseas. That's a bit rich, yeah. Don't insult his wife. They had an open marriage. She was getting the spots knocked off her by others with his blessing, it seems. Okay, I won't indulge in that. Eddie, the thing is, Will Smith thought it was funny at first. He saw his wife's reaction and decided he needed to do something. What do you make of it? Did he have a pre-grudge against Chris Rock or something? Will Smith he didn't do himself any favors. He didn't make himself look good. I don't think there's many people going to look at Will Smith and and say, "Great, good on you, guy." I think he made a bit of a fool of himself. But that's nothing new. It's not new with the Oscars, is it? I mean, Vanessa Redgrave got an Oscar, in the 1970s, and then made a big political speech which caused controversy. Marlon Brando turned down no, he didn't turn down his Oscar. He didn't turn up for his Oscar for The Godfather. Instead, he sent a native Indian to collect it. There's always been controversies at the Oscars, aren't they? I don't take them all so seriously. I mean, some of the most wonderful, talented filmmakers of all time, Alfred Hitchcock, Stanley Kubrick, never ever won Oscars. That is shameful. Shameful. Citizen Mikey, Eddie Gills is grannies like the Rooney meme. Jokes 2 nans for £1. Oh no, I don't want a granny. A MILF is not a bloody granny. I'm not at that stage. I don't want a granny. Paul Hoskin, she said if you got a Jorian in your pocket or you just pleased to see me or whatever, something like that. David Heisenberg, lookalike, Russell. Good evening, Adonal. Good evening to you. Yogi Bear, nice to hear from you. Good evening. Nice to hear from you, Yogi Bear. Sean McGoldrick, just watch Bourdain Vietnam episodes. Would love to go back, Ed. Booked Thailand for November, but considering adding Vietnam. Go to Vietnam. I don't know what state that place will be in right now, especially somewhere like Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon. Because last time I was there was a couple of years ago, and I've been there many, many times over the years. And the last time it was looking more like, a Las Vegas with all the bright lights. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But a lot of those places will be very, very hard hit over the last couple of years. So I'm not saying it is. It's quite possible that Bui Vien Street in Saigon, with all its glitzy bars and clubs and everything, that might well have gone the same way as Walking Street in Pattaya. In other words, it's gone out of action. It might take a long, long time to recover all of that. Well, Vietnam's a great place. Go to Vietnam. Wonderful. McLaren F1. Hey, Ed, have you done that moment in your hotel with your gorgeous girlfriend and all of a sudden you felt something? Would you follow through with it? No, I wouldn't. I think I know what you mean. No, I wouldn't have a lady boy. Not for me. Not for me. Rusty Lead, looking forward to seeing all the infrastructure improvements in Siam Reap. Many of those dusty roads near Pub Street have been paved. Yeah, I heard that. I met someone quite recently, well, a few months back, who said Siam Reap was dead. And someone else said, it's alive. You don't know who to believe, really. But I believe that they have a lot of those dusty roads near Pub Street have been. It'd be interesting. A lot of these places are going to take a while to get back together again. But I'm hoping. Well, I was hoping this time, but if the wind's in the right direction, I wouldn't mind a visit to Cambodia. Towards the end of this year. Definitely great place. Shane O'Traveller, 8 hours flight, from Melbourne to Bangkok. 8 hours is not bad. It's not bad. That's not a bad time. Dr. Strange, greetings, king of the dirty massage. Okay, thank you. Pele, thumbs up, everyone. Thank you, Pele. Appreciate that. Mark Ollick, I remember the streaker in the late 1970s, the announcer said. That was a phase, wasn't it, in the 70s? During football, cricket matches. You got a lot of streakers and all that kind of stuff. Something about showing his shortcomings. Yeah, a lot of those streakers were men, weren't they? Doing a streak across a cricket match and all that. And not for me. There was one called Erica, wasn't there? A woman who showed her lovely, juicy knockers in Twickenham at a rugby match. And funnily enough, bare-breasted knockers was shown on the front page of the newspapers the next day. They wouldn't allow that now. They wouldn't actually allow that. Anton Level, does the YouTube pay for all your travel? And before YouTube, how do you fund this traveler? I pay for it. It helps, but I've been traveling for a long time. I pay for it by hard work. That's how I pay for my travels. I pay for it by hard work. Flores, evening, Eddie, looking sharp with the cut. Okay, thank you, Flores. Nice to hear from you. Oh. El Terrifico. I dated a gilf once and she was only 30. I've actually learned a new word. I never actually knew this word until tonight. Yeah, let's see. I might have missed somebody. 80 people in the chat, 81 in the chat now. So thanks for coming along, everybody. Paul Powell just got back from Antalya. Antalya is a good little place, isn't it? It's a bit grimy, but it's you got that. You go down the steps to the harbour and all that. It's quite a good place, Antalya. Just got back from Antalya. It's full of wongas. I seen one fat woman touching what looked like a 21-year-old Turk under the table. Really dirty old women. Yeah, sounds about right. And if you imagine a fat old man touched a 21-year-old Thai girl under the table, people would be the first to say, he's a bloody pervert. Wongas. Rusty Lid stopped by the beer garden Pattaya this past weekend. There were several milks looking to make new friends. I went in the beer garden. It was pissing down with rain outside, but yeah, I like the beer garden. I've never been interested in the women there because I go to the beer garden because it's a lovely place. It's got a lovely view, and you get some nice food, and it's a great atmosphere. I mean, I wonder when I first went there, what's that sign that says "Single Ladies Welcome"? In other words, freelancers are welcome there, and they have the beer mats, don't they? If you just want a meal there, you put chilling, and you put it the other way, looking. I mean, if I want to be hassled by women, then I'll go in another bar. I won't go in that one. Really, it's I don't know. I mean, it's each to their own. Shane O'Traveller, Ed Crappy versus Halong Bay. Which is more iconic, would you say? I think they're both really beautiful. I mean, Halong Bay is probably the lesser known one, simply because Vietnam is not as well known a tourist destination as Thailand. Krabi is lovely because you've got James Bond Island and other places and all of that. You've got Halong Bay in Vietnam, which is beautiful. I went out, if you go on a traditional Vietnamese junk, you get it from Hanoi, and it's beautiful out there. You stay there for a couple of days. Absolutely wonderful. I mentioned James Bond a moment ago. There's another James Bond movie, which I think it's Pierce Brosnan. Can't remember. Is it Tomorrow Never Dies? It's one of the Pierce Brosnan ones, where a lot of it is supposedly filmed in Vietnam around Halong Bay. Yes, but if you actually look at the credits, they actually filmed that in the Krabi area of Thailand. So maybe it's not as easy to film in Halong Bay, but they're both well worth a visit. Well worth a visit. Mark Olive, the streaker ran across the stage at the Oscars or the Academy Award. When was this? I don't recall that one. I haven't watched the Oscars for quite a while. I've only seen obviously what's on the news. A streaker, was it male or female? Yeah, I've never actually seen that one. David Martins, Erica Rowe, absolutely. Jamie296, Eddie, from your videos, you seem to have a wonderful, slightly inebriated time in Soy 7 Bangkok. But what is your strongest memory from this trip? From that particular place. Well, if you talk about Soy 7, I like meeting Chad there. Chad there, CB Media, he hangs out there a lot. It was great meeting him there. A lot of good. What was good about Soy 7, if that's what you're talking about, is that was lively at a time when other places like Pattaya wasn't so lively. So when I went there, it was like a bit of a breath of fresh air to be able to stay out, beyond there, till midnight and all of that. It was good. It was good place. Let's see, where are we now? Let me see. McLaren F1. I was in the Joe Hotel in Antalya. I had a watch stolen. Or whatever. I've never had anything stolen in a hotel. Not really, because I lock it all away. Gemini Star. Good evening, all. Flores. I slept on a boat in Halong Bay. I think you mean Halong Bay. Definitely a recommendation. I did as well. I seem to remember that, it was nice and it was. I remember, you had an evening meal in Halong Bay on that Vietnamese junk, and I thought to myself, after the evening meal, what's going to happen? I'm going to go to sleep. I had a nice little cabin, and I thought we're going to go to sleep. I slept like a log. I absolutely slept like a log, and when I woke up the following morning, lovely stuff. Paul Hoskin, I always get dirty looks from married couples in Thailand when we see them with the bar girls. Yeah, I know what you mean, Paul. I know what you mean. I had that in a bar down at Beach Road, one of those complex Mirror Bar or whatever it was. And there was a couple there, an English couple, and with the barmaid, was shoving a knockers in me face and all that. And I could tell what the couple were thinking. The guy was thinking, "Oh, jammy bastard." And his missus was thinking, dirty bastard, whatever, I don't care. We all know what Pattaya is about, so there's no way I'm going to behave myself just because there's a nice English woman, English couple there. I'll try and be a bit subtle, but you know. I do believe in fairies. What got you to go to Thailand for the first time? I first went after watching Bangkok Bound on Channel 4. I don't know. I don't really. 2000. Well, that's actually when I first went to Thailand, but I was thinking of going there long before that. But I went there simply because the time was right. I mean, I was working all kinds of crazy hours at work, and then I sort of eased up. And it's about time I started doing something else. And once I went there, I kind of got hooked on it. Luke Van Pruin, good day, mate. You're looking happy and relaxed today. Nice of you to say so. Nice of you to say so. Thank you. The police were called twice in a week at the Joke Hotel where I stayed in Antalya. Russian guys kicking off glass. Oh my God, that sounds bloody awful. Huh? Mark Ollick, 1974, 46th Academy Awards. His name was Robert Opel, and he streaked at the Oscars. I suppose it's a bit of fun, but I mean, I wouldn't do it. I don't think anyone would want to see me naked anyway. Shane O'Traveller, I freaked out when I first seen Vin Pearl at Nha Trang, castle in Vietnam. Vin Pearl at Nha Trang, I've been to Nha Trang a few times. There's a castle there. What are you talking about? I don't know, maybe that theme park place? Paul Hoskett, isn't that the greatest feel when Western couples give you the stink eye for being with your new friends? They're just jealous. That's the way it seems to me as well. Phil Roberts, when did you go to Halong Bay, Eddie? I've been to Hanoi twice and still not made it there. That's what comes of going in the rainy season. Trip cancelled both times because of storms. It's about about 16 years ago, something like that. I think it was in the month of was in the month of March or April, something like that. And it was lovely. I booked it at the hotel. It was a lovely excursion. Johnny B, hi Steady. What have you been doing since being back in the UK? This. I've been drinking wine. I've been watching Netflix. I've been, trying to develop this, this live stream for this channel. Not a great deal. El Terrifico, I recommend Sapa in northern Vietnam. Long overnight train ride straight up the mountain. Gorgeous here. I never made it to there. Never actually made the furthest north I've been is Hanoi. So might be an idea. I've never actually been there. Stephen Forex, just as long as I've seen you without a drink, I've never bloody put it down. Nice wine there. Rusty Lid, I have a friend that works for Vin Pearl Resort in Da Nang. Over $500 a night. That's a lot of money. But you get a very nice beachfront chalet. Jesus Christ, I wouldn't pay that. Definitely not for me. I can get a nice hotel in Vietnam for $20 a night. Sean McGoldrick, Eddie, every time I go into Lidl now, I think of Steady Eddie, especially when I'm in the alcohol bit. Okay, good for you. Let me see. Danish bacon. You spoke about a health kick, Eddie. All in good time. Yeah, all in good time. What if the sounds right? Shane O'Traveller, I've not been to Da Nang, but want to go back. It's developing that place. It's not fully developed yet. But you might. Some people like it. Some people like it. Okay, now I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to squeaky door time, okay? Squeaky door time. Where are we now? Let me see. Come on, there you go. Squeaky door time is coming up, but also I'm going to do a teensy weensy. Hopefully this will work. Hopefully I've been having a few problems with these, but hopefully this will work. Let's see. I think what we'll do. Okay, so anyone's got headphones in, this is a bit of a musical section, okay, and it could get a teensy bit noisy, so beware. Let's see.
Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. In the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Thanks for there to see. Just like a weed, spread into the street. It's time to make them bleed. Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip
Oh,
guns in the weak and harmless. Take to the street.
okay, sorry about that. I can only say that that's. Am I here? Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I think that's got to be the fault of StreamYard. It's a bit of a problem. You know, the conception of it is really great, but it's a bit of a problem when a lot of people have problems with StreamYard. So apologies for you know, for that. It somehow it just didn't work. There's a couple of these that work really well on StreamYard, but a couple of the little videos that I've made of the uncopyrighted, and there's somewhat good uncopyrighted music. It just doesn't. Yeah, you know, I think it's StreamYard is a bit of a problem. A lot of people have problem with this thing. So sorry about that. Let's see. Okay, so I'll tell you what. We've gone over an hour now. Now, basically, the idea, I'm going to do a live stream once a week on the other channel. And that live stream will be a forum for people to talk about travel. Okay, the way we've been done it. But on this live stream here, I want to speak about other things as well. Absolutely other things as well. So I'm going to bring a little section here to see if it works. I did an overrated section in the live stream last time. And some go better than others, but we'll see what happens anyway. Okay, so I'm going to bring on a little teensy weensy bit, of something that's overrated or not overrated. Okay. So this is a section where we'll talk about something which you think is either overrated or it's not overrated. Okay. So for this one, I want to go back to the 1970s. But remember, all this is experiment. I'm developing this Steady Eddie live channel. I want you to tell me whether let's go back to the 1970s. Well, 60s, 70s, 80s, but many of you remember it from the 70s. A comedy duo. Not only were they highly rated, they were like the crown jewels of British comedy. They were royalty. They were TV royalty, and they got the most amazing viewing figures on their show. But the question is, overrated or not? Okay, so here we go. Overrated or not? So yeah, this is the question: overrated or not? Were they overrated or not? Who recognises that duo? Let me see now. Okay, Mark Oleg, how can you overrate sex? When you get older, it depends who you're doing it. Sensitive 70s, okay. Sensitive 70s. Lol, okay, fine. Mark Oleg, it's not Rowan and Martin. Right now, this couple, every people must know who this is. This couple were a British comedy duo, but they were just highly rated. They were TV royalty. In fact, some people would say it's sacrilege to even suggest that they were overrated. They were getting, some of their shows were getting Christmas specials in the 1970s. We're getting 20 million views, 20 million views per episode. And they were TV royalty. But personally, well, I'll save my opinion for later. Who knows who it is? No one's actually mentioned the name. Oh, so now, Mike Evans, not. He says they're not overrated. Stephen Forex says they're not overrated. Leeds, not over. Oh, well, we've got plenty of support. Let's see. Popcorn, absolutely. 3 channels, and one of them was the Open University. No wonder 26 million people watch them. Thank God for the power cuts, absolutely. Nice to hear from you, Popcorn. Paul UK, Morecambe, no. Wise, yeah. Well, it was Morecambe and Wise, of course. I mean, Morecambe was the funny guy, but Wise, Ernie Wise, he was just as essential. They couldn't have done it without each other, simply because a funny guy needed the straight guy. I mean, he wasn't like a stand-up comedian. But anyway, it's nice to hear from you, Paul. Mark Oleg, being in USA, I just know about Benny Hill, or we'll talk about Benny, legend, on another day. But one of the questions, if you look on Wikipedia, did Morecambe and Wise ever make it in America? They were around for a long time. In the 60s, Ed Sullivan, the legendary Ed Sullivan, had them on his show for about 12 times. In fact, I think they actually hold the record as the British comedy duo who were on the Ed Sullivan show the most. I think a record 12 times. But it was the 1970s that they are best remembered in Britain. I mean, they had the kind of viewing figures that would be just unthinkable in this day and age. McLaren F1 race, Cannon and Bolton, no, they came much later. Yeah, this is a good point. And Nomad Overseas, they were getting 20 million views back then because YouTube and Instagram didn't exist. Not to mention the other How's Your Father. I thought it would be the two Ronnies. Look, Potters, always thought Martin from NDTVI looked like Mr. Mackay. Okay. David Heisenberg looked like they did at least 2 movies as well. I think they actually did 4, including one round about 1982. I mean, most well-known one, I think they done On the Riviera, which is a really great fun. But Morecambe and Wise were TV royalty. I mean, their shows. I must have personally when I seen. I loved Morecambe and Wise when I was a kid. But it seems to be called, I liked them when I was pre-teen, before I reached the teenage years. And I remember being a kid watching Morecambe and Wise, and they were so magical. As soon as their TV show appeared, you just thought, oh my God, brilliant. Because we didn't have video recorders or nothing like that in the day. If Morecambe and Wise show went on for 50 minutes or 55 minutes or whatever it went on for, you just didn't want it to end because it was television at its best. These two amazing performers together, and they were absolutely wonderful. But I remember I thought that as a kid, once I got to the teenage years, I saw them differently, and I think they were a teensy weensy bit old hat. Yeah, I think they were a teensy weensy bit old hat. Mark Oleg, I watched Ed and Topo Geo. Ed Sullivan. Yeah, he's on out there, Mark. Yeah. Kippo Mahma, Benny Okwa. My wife likes bird watching. She watches me like a hawk. Okay, fine. What's that? Jamie trying to say, Eddie, McLaren F1 is the best deal that I confuse Morecambe and Wise with Canada Ball. Okay, what can you say to that? Rock on, Tommy. Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. Come back to bed. I'm moist as an otter. Okay, I'll be with you later, dear. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Danish bit. The Timon claims he saw the face of Jesus in his margarine and said, "I can't believe it's not butter." Okay, fine, thank you. And Sweetie's 20 stone white back there. Here's a fist of snack, and I'll go back to bed. Okay, so Morecambe and Wise. You'll get a few more photos of them up there. We'll remove that. We'll move that one. We'll get a few more photos. Here's another photo of Morecambe and Wise. Because they were, they were legends. They were TV comedy at its finest in those days. Okay, let's see about this one here. There you go. That's their famous comedy. That's their famous song and their dance. Bring me sunshine all the while. Bring me laughter with a smile. I don't know if I got the lyrics right there, but I think you guess what I mean. They were absolutely wonderful. They were amazing people. But like I say, as soon as I hit the teenage years, I started to think of them as old hat. And yet to this day, people go on about them. There's some people who simply would not hear a word said against them. Philip Roberts, 2 years where I spent Christmas Day with my old mum and dad. It was lovely until the evening, until they insisted we watch a Morecambe and Wise Christmas special from about 78. So I killed them. Okay, good for you, mate, anyway. Popcorn. Mary Whitehouse had too much to say about what people could or couldn't watch in 1970s. Interfering old bag. I actually like Mary Whitehouse. I liked her because Mary Whitehouse was that woman. I mean, if there was anything really, if there was a TV series on really dirty or smutty, she'd draw your attention to it. I wouldn't have known about it until Mary Whitehouse told me about it. If she said, this program on the TV is disgusting, it's full of tits and hairy fannies, I think, really, Mary? Oh, thank you. I'll watch it in that case. So I liked it. Paul Hoskin, I used to watch Top of the Pops in the 70s to look at Pan's people. Good for you, but we all did, mate. Let's see. Kippo Mahmak, the toaster sketch was great. They did say that was the stripper. They did on the stripper, didn't they, song? And it was all brilliantly choreographed. But like I said, I absolutely loved them when I was a child. But later, I tended to think they were old hat. Stephen Forax, a more innocent time. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, good point. So let's get that one round. Now, there's all kinds of strange, you could say, connotations about them. Now let's see, how about this one? All kinds of strange connotations. Now, how about this? So there you go. That's very, very strange, isn't it? That's a bit strange. What was that all about? Apparently, they played the roles of, a couple of blokes who were living together in an apartment, and they shared an apartment, and they also shared a bed together. I think really, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but to be fair, Laurel and Hardy also shared a bed together. So that it was the age of innocence, really, wasn't it? It was the age of innocence. Now that you couldn't do a comedy sketch nowadays where a couple of blokes, the funny guy and the straight guy, could actually share a bed. I mean, it's like the word tomboy. People would snigger at the word tomboy in this day and age. She wouldn't be a tomboy. She'd be an L in this day and age. Let's see. Gemini Star, did you say hairy fannies? Yes. Okay. John Mitch, Paul Hoskin on Pan's People. I had them in my wank bag. Do you know something, John Mitch? Recently, I seen a picture. It was on Facebook of Pan's People in their dressing room, and what gorgeous women they were. And you know what? They had skimpy clothes on, skimpy costumes on. They had lovely feminine flesh and all that. And you know what? They are real knockers. And the most wonderful thing, there wasn't a tattoo in sight. Not a tattoo in sight. They were women like women used to look. Absolutely wonderful. Sean McGoldrick talking about tits and early fans. He remembers that Channel 4 show from the 90s. Yeah, I remember it well. I used to videotape it. Mark Ollick, The Odd Couple of the UK. Yeah, I suppose you could say that in a way, but it's Eric and Eddie. It was a comedy show, but it was they had their famous catchphrase. Eric's famous catchphrase. He was the funny one. Was, "What do you think of it so far? Rubbish." And a lot of it was really funny, and a lot of it was probably really clever. But I just thought really I loved it when I was a kid, but as soon as I became a little bit older, I couldn't see what the fuss was about personally. I really couldn't see the fuss was about. Diane Abbott, I'm sure. I knew she'd crawl out the woodwork. Why do you like hairy fannies so much? I shave mine twice a week, otherwise it starts to get a bit much. Okay, fine. Okay, Jamie, I got the gym at the Rose. Okay, yeah, fine. Danish Bacon, Pan's People used to wear great outfits. Okay. Here we go. And Nomad Overseas. To be honest, when I was a kid, the only UK comedians funny were Les Dawson, two Ronnies, Benny Hill, and Michael Crawford. And well, they were all brilliant. They were all comedy genius. Morecambe and Wise, I actually don't. I preferred all of those people you probably just mentioned to Morecambe and Wise. They were wonderful, but I still think about Morecambe and Wise. I think they were very, very pre-teen somehow. Very, very pre-teen in a way. But let's not forget something. There were actually three people, especially when it comes to the 1970s, three people involved in the Morecambe and Wise phenomenon. And there in the middle is the third one. He was the third one. Now, Morecambe and Wise didn't employ Eddie Braben in the 1960s. They were already well established. He came along very, very much in the 70s. But I think it can be said he was very, very much a part of their golden period in the 70s. He came up with a lot of the script for them. His name was Eddie Braben, and he was a Scouser. He was from Liverpool. His father was actually a butcher at St. John's Market in Liverpool city centre. Now, I would assume this was maybe 40s, 50s, something like that. But I remember, like in the 1980s, I used to go to St. John's Market to get me. I used to go there just before they closed on a Saturday, before 5 o'clock, so I could get all the chickens that they were going to throw out, all the discount chickens and everything, for my chicken roast and everything. But Eddie Braben was the man responsible for all of their, the scripts right throughout the 70s. So they weren't as genuine as something like the two Ronnies, because Ronnie Barker used to write all the scripts under the name of Gerald Wiley, whereas Morecambe and Wise didn't really write the scripts. It was Eddie Braben, but I don't know. I mean, if Morecambe and Wise were on TV now, I personally don't think I'd watch them. I don't think I'd watch them. Let's see. A little bit more smuttiness, okay. Paul Hoskin in the 90s, I discovered videotapes and watched Debbie Does Dallas and Snow White with a 7-inch tour. Like it. Phil Roberts, Lewis C. The young ones were bloody good. Of course, they brought in a new era of comic time. Rick Mail, wonderful, bloody brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Tony's Travels, they had a poor man's Mike and Bernie Winters. Oh no, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't bloody go that far. Mike and Bernie, load of crap. Popcorn was the sort of entertainment you could watch with your mum and dad. Not like today's TV, though. Too much swearing and filth like Mrs. Brown. I can't watch that, miss. I don't watch stuff like that. The problem I have with today's comedians is that, as Bernard Manning once said about comedians, especially when they're talking about life and all of that, Bernard Manning once said, a comedian has got to have a certain bit of maturity about him. If a 21-year-old lad went on stage and started talking about life and all this kind of stuff, people would say, what? He's only bloody 21. What the hell would he know? The problem I have is that a lot of the comedians I see nowadays, they do look like 21. They do look like kids. And that's why Jimmy Carr and all, what's that other one? Michael McIntyre. Oh, Christ. I don't like them at all. I don't like them. Stephen X, people aren't allowed to be funny anymore, so they aren't. Okay. Well, I mean, there's still some of the best comedians, some of the alternative stuff that you get, and you will get a comedy unleashed. You can get it on YouTube. There are some really good stuff on that. Really good stuff. And Nomad Overseas, I got the impression that a lot of those comedy duos back then were almost a carryover from the musical style comedy from the 1950s and 60s. It was all very safe. I think in terms of Britain, we were very different than other countries like America, because I think we used to envy the idea that America had 20-odd TV channels. We only had 3. We only had 3 TV channels in the 1970s, BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV. And they all finished at about midnight. And, we were so desperate for TV. I mean, there was, when the TV went off, there was a dot in the middle of the screen. And you kept looking at the dot at midnight, thinking that the TV was going to miraculously spring back to life again. We didn't have videos then, until the late 70s or early 80s. We didn't have anything like that. We just had 3 channels, and that's all we were given. So, with something like Morecambe and Wise, whenever they were on TV, you savoured the moment. You savoured the moment. But then when other things started coming along, I just think they were great at the time, but I wouldn't watch them now. The Clan F1 race. To watch it, I left it on the table. Okay, yeah. Someone's putting Kippo Mac. The Wheel Tappers and Shunters Club gave many great artists their breakthrough. Bernard Mann and Colin Crompton, he'd start ringing the bell, wouldn't he? In the middle. He was a funny guy. They fell out, Bernard Mann and Colin Crompton. He did. I should get rid of this bloody squeaky door. There you go. That's better. Let's see. Citizen Mikey, Billy Connolly was good. I think that's an understatement, mate. I think Billy Connolly was a bit better than good. Stephen Forex, did you check out the Harry Enfield Yorkshireman clipper? Well worth 3 months of your time on TV. Didn't you? Imagine that being on BBC. I didn't actually check that one out. I haven't actually checked that one out. I haven't actually seen that. But Billy, let's see. Harry Enfield was wonderful, absolutely amazing comedian. I don't know what happened to him. You don't really hear from him now. And Nomad Overseas. Hey man, nobody's American in the UK, rock and roll and punk. Ireland had show bands. It was like some shite in the 1940s. Lol, the Cheer band jazz. Oh my God. I think with America, America had the greatest movies, but not necessarily the greatest TV at that particular time. I think American TV had American TV, a lot of it was not considered very, very good at the time. A lot of police series and all of that. We like, because we like Kojak, we've got lots of other things. But I think a lot of American TV nowadays is far, far superior. When you think things like Breaking Bad and all that kind of stuff, brilliant. Let's see, Kippo Macmac, the Scousers takeout was better. That was good fun. Philip Roberts, Alan Partridge, anyone, brilliant. I love Steve Coogan. I think he's a real character. He's created some wonderful characters, Steve Coogan. Absolutely wonderful. Alan Partridge, I like Alan Partridge. I was the other one, the pisshead Paul Carr. But he got a bit too big for his boots. Do you ever remember, Philip? Steve Coogan got a little bit too big for his boots because in the 1990s, yes, he did some, which I don't think other comedians do. He developed a new character and announced it with a record deal and all kinds of things. And what was it called? It was a Latin singer. I can't remember the name of it, but he developed this comic strip sort of Latino singer. And this was his new creation. And it was announced on TV. And there was a record deal and everything. And it just bombed. Apparently £1 million was invested into this comic creation, but it kind of bombed. It just didn't take off the way some of the other some of his other characters did. McLaren F1. McLaren F1 is. I still think Harry Enfield did a good impression of you. Hey, the Scouts on the beat. It can be irritating. I mean, as someone from Liverpool, when people go on about that, it can bloody annoying. That honestly, it really, really can. I don't want to sound like a miserable bastard, but it can be. That's it. Philip Roberts, Tony Farino. Yeah, I can never ever think of another case where a comedian has come along and said, right, this is my new creation. I'm announcing my new. I mean, it just appears. When they develop a new character, he just appears on the show. They don't actually announce it publicly. And apparently there was a record deal waiting as well. When I had £1 million was invested into that, and it just bombed. People just didn't think it was that funny. Stephen Forrest, back when $1 million was a lot of money, absolutely. Kippo Macmac, who said, I'm not getting into that. No much overseas. Wait till you tell me that Ricky Martin was actually Alan Partridge in disguise. Jeff went to see Partridge 3 weeks ago in Sheffield. He's really Alan Partridge, that character, brilliant. It's absolutely really funny. I mean, some of the shows are marvelous. I must admit, with Steve Coogan, he's a really talented person. I don't like that mate of his. What's his name? That Rob Brydon, whatever the hell his name is. The one with the annoying. Was it a Welsh? I like people with Welsh accents, but not him. I just don't think. I think he's really annoying. That sidekick I was on an airplane a couple of years ago, and there's a TV show where the two of them tour Spain together, and Steve Coogan is playing Steve Coogan in it, not one of his characters, but his sidekick, that Rob Ryden or whatever his name is, he's a bore. He's just a bore. Oh, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. Harvey Wisdom, surprised how good Steve Coogan was in Stan and Ollie. Well worth it, excellent. If you haven't seen that movie, Stan and Ollie, it's really, really, really well worth a look. Bloody good film, that. Yeah, well worth it. Jeff Kayla, 68. Hi, I just realized you're live, pal. Let this show go on. Well, unfortunately, I've got to finish pretty soon, simply because I've got some chicken in the oven. And so I've got to finish pretty soon, in about 4 minutes or so. Paul Hoskin, in 1974, a 4-bed semi cost $12,000. Now it's worth 700,000. You must insist on talking about your semi. Okay, Lewis C. Pauline Carve. He tried to push his hand up my skirt. She said, "Do you think of it?" Pauline Carve. Wasn't there somebody else called Gail Tuesday? It was a TV slapper or whatever. Pauline Cav, he tried to put his hand up my share. I said, do you think I'm a tart? Tits first. Okay, tits first. I'm not a slag. I like it. Listen, we've done a little bit. This is all experimental stuff that I'm doing right now. This is all experiment, but it's nice to see that this channel is starting to get moved. I'm a bit gutted because my little musical section, the StreamYard, is not playing ball. It's not really playing ball. It's really it's you know, but then that's StreamYards. A lot of people have problems with this StreamYards things. It's a great conception, but it doesn't always work very well. But it doesn't always work very well. But like I say, on this live stream, we'll bring in other things. We'll talk about travel, but we'll also talk about other things as well. And it's the idea is that I want this channel to be the main live channel. I'm over 1,000 subscribers now, thanks to everyone who subscribed, and also I'm almost touching 4,000 hours of watch time, which means I can get a few adverts on there. So that'll be nice anyway. Let's see. A nomad overseas, Eddie, remind me of something that could be a good idea for vid series to do while still in the UK. Could follow one of Palin's train series or one of Portillo ones. I haven't been on a train here for years. It might be interesting. You never know. The problem is, I'd like to do some outdoor live streams to a daytime. The problem with it is that in this part of the country we get terrible reception. You know, for mobile phones and smartphones. So I'd have to look into that. Let's see. Gemini Star, Eddie, where is the diet that you were on? It's coming. It's on its way. McLaren F1 race. Love you, Eddie. You're a refreshing change, mate. Okay, well, thank you for that. Thank you for that comment. Danish Bacon, I only watch YouTube for the adverts. Good for you, mate. Listen, guys, I've got chicken in the oven. I'm going to have a late night chicken on toast. And I will say, we've been on for 1.5 hours now. Not the most successful live stream because I wanted to do a few things. But the overrated section, I'll develop that because anything that gets people talking. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Late at night here, what the hell's on the TV? What's on the TV this time of night? The same old bloody Sky News, depressing stuff. You know, probably an old movie that you haven't seen or haven't wanted to see for years. What we'll do, we'll come up with a few ideas and have a bit of fun. Anyway, okay. Listen, guys. Shane Old Traveller, Mark Allig, thanks for coming along, mate. McLaren F1. All the other people who've joined me tonight, Jamie296, only been on for 1.5 hours, but I think that's about enough now anyway. Listen, guys, I'll be back soon. Thanks for turning up. Have a great day, a great evening, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.